Hi there, my name is Toby and today I want to talk about astrology, but I want to give you an explanation that you probably never heard before. Nothing like this. And really, in order to explain this to you, I'm going to have to explain metaphysics, how metaphysics works first. And then you might be able to see how the stars possibly could have an effect on us here on this planet Earth. Now, metaphysics, what is it? Metaphysics really is anything that is not physical. Anything real. It is real, but it is not physical. For example, consciousness. Consciousness is real, but it is not physical. Feelings. Feelings are real. I can feel love, but it's not physical. I can't define the feeling of love, can't prove it. It will have an effect in the body. You can measure the effect in the body, some chemical effect, but you can experience love even outside the body without affecting the body. It's not physical, it's metaphysics. Then there's mathematics. Mathematics exists only in consciousness. It's not physical. Mathematics is real, but it is metaphysics. It's not physics. So all this stuff is real, but not physical. And it's got to be included in our picture of reality because it's real. We can't deny it. And modern science only talks about physics. They don't talk about metaphysics, but they really should. They have to. And how does metaphysics connect to physics? That's one of the main things that they dismiss it. Well, how does metaphysics connect to physics? Well, firstly, metaphysics is mathematics. That's not physical, only exists in consciousness. And their entire science is built upon mathematics, metaphysics. So you're in big trouble if you're trying to deny metaphysics, but your whole science is built on it. You can't have it both ways. But metaphysics, you see, in mathematics, you've also got geometry. Now, geometry, pure geometry, is also not physical. I've got a ball here, a sphere, this crystal ball. But that is not, this is a physical sphere. It's not perfect. But in the metaphysical world, you can have a perfect sphere. It will be perfect. We can have a perfect expression of a sphere mathematically. But in the real world, it's imperfect. But this sphere in the real world, physical world, is connecting to the perfect metaphysical sphere. It is trying to become this perfect metaphysical sphere. And in that, there is a resonance. The physical world and the metaphysical world can connect through resonance. So in other words, this ball is resonating with the concept of a perfect ball. But that concept of a perfect ball is more. It also connects to the concept of truth, a particular concept of truth about the universe. You see, in this ball, a sphere, it represents infinity. You think about it. If you want to represent infinity, how would you do it? Well, if I'm sitting here on this desk and I go out to infinity in all directions, I can't get there. It's impossible to go to infinity. But infinity must be equidistant everywhere away from me. So it's got to be a ball around me. So infinity has got to be a sphere. I can't draw it. I can't draw the edge of the sphere, but it must be a sphere. So this sphere is resonating with a perfect sphere, a mathematical expression of a perfect sphere, but a perfect sphere is resonating with the concept of infinity, an infinite universe. So when I have this physical ball here, this crystal ball, it's resonating with the infinite universe. There's some energy connecting to this. When I resonate with the infinite metaphysical universe, that is where energy can be created, physical energy. So again, that's a hard one. I talk about it on this channel, but metaphysics comes before physics. So the metaphysical world has got to be in alignment. There has to be geometry. There's geometry in this physical world. Geometry comes from metaphysics, and that geometry allows for technology. You see, here's a magnet. This is real physical technology, but it's based on geometry. Inside, the atoms are aligned in a particular way. There is an alignment, a geometry of the atoms that creates the energy. The energy is created by the geometry. Think about it. So the same with the sphere. The energy of the sphere is created by geometry. It's also the substance. The substance is a crystal. And inside that crystal is another geometry. The atoms have a geometry. It's still geometry that creates the power. But there's more to this, because this is metaphysics is also my personal consciousness. So I have to use my consciousness to tune in to this object. So that's what gives it power. And herein lies the most important thing about metaphysics. The most important thing in metaphysics is you yourself, your soul spirit, your consciousness. That's the most important thing. You see, this ball of energy, this ball will have energy if I tune into it. If I choose not to, it won't. So a skeptical person, well, that's just a crystal ball. That's rubbish. See, it won't work for them. But it will work for me, because I know what it is, and I can tune my consciousness into it. So I'll look at it, tune my consciousness into the ball, into the abstract, metaphysical, mathematical sphere, but then tune into the infinite cosmos that it represents. So when I look at that, I'm really going through it into the cosmos. So really, I'm using that to go to the great cosmos. There I can get energy. But I have to do it. So metaphysics, that's how it works. The other thing, so it works through this resonance, but it also works through alignment of things. You see, I've got this crystal here. That's got a particular energy. It does something. And I've got another little crystal here. It's got a different type of thing it does. But if I put these two crystals like this in alignment, now somehow these two connect. So this has another effect. This will have another effect. It's another technology. It's a very primitive technology, based on science, but this is an energy technology, a living technology. I have to apply my energy to it. But the technology comes from the alignment. Alignment is geometry. It's metaphysics. You see, the geometry, if I put it there, is not so good. I put it there, it's not so good. I put it there, now it works. But that positioning is not physical. That's abstract geometry. So the alignment is metaphysics. I'm using metaphysics, alignment, to create something in physics. So again, that's how metaphysics works, alignment. And the best way of looking at alignment, or the best example, are the pyramids at Giza. Everyone knows about the pyramids. This is metaphysics. It's metaphysical technology. And whoever built these things knew what they were doing. And there's pyramids everywhere. The whole world is covered with pyramids. We don't even realise it. Well, they know now. But America, there's more pyramids in America than there are in Egypt. Everywhere, Australia, even England, we've got pyramids in England. Everywhere's got pyramid. Bosnia, massive great pyramids. China, loads of them. Under the ocean, they found huge pyramids. Antarctica is a giant pyramid, 2 kilometres wide. So they're finding them everywhere. So they were very important. They built these pyramids, whoever built them, and very difficult to build these things. We don't know how they built them. Yeah, scientists think they know. Of course they don't know how they built them. 2 kilometres wide pyramid is not easy. But they bothered to do it. Why bother? Whoever built them understood metaphysics. They understood the nature of the universe, how it works. We don't understand how it works now. So how does it work? The 3 pyramids, well, firstly, they got a particular geometry. They will have a proportionality to them. And that geometry will be calculated in metaphysics. For example, the most important number is the golden ratio. The golden ratio number, 1.618. It goes on. It's an irrational number. But that is the number that governs growth. It governs life. It governs the fundamental field of energy. It governs time, the creation of time. Everything is controlled by this golden ratio. It's the number that allows the material universe to appear, to be here. It's not that it appears, it's always appearing, but the golden ratio allows the physical universe to continually unfold. So it's a very important number. So the pyramids will have the golden ratio proportionality in there. Now, so there's that mathematics. There's the mathematics of an actual pyramid. And it's not just a square, it's actually a star shape. It's an 8-sided pyramid. There's not really a pyramid. But anyway, the point being is geometry is there. Then they will have distances. the length of the sides, proportionality of numbers will connect to something else. So there's an alignment of numbers. For example, there would be the number connecting to the circumference of the Earth, or they've got the distance between the Earth and the Sun. That number is in the pyramid's proportionality. They've got the speed of light. That number appears in there somewhere. So they've got numbers in the geometry that connect to real things. So there's a metaphysical alignment of real things through numbers. So metaphysics is giving it this power. And it's also aligned to magnetic north. There's alignment. So it's pointing exactly north. So perfect, the alignment. That's very difficult. To the millimeter, it's aligned to magnetic north. So when they create this alignment, that's geometry. But it's connecting to something real, i.e. the magnetic field. So alignment is metaphysics, but when you create metaphysics, use metaphysics in the real world, i.e. like that, to make an alignment, it creates an effect, a real effect. But now's the interesting part. It also aligns to the stars. I think it's Orion's belt, one of these anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is this. The three pyramids, you look at the sky, you see the three stars. And you look at the stars, look at the distance between them, the angle. So you've got that geometry of the three stars. Then you map that geometry on the Earth. You put the three pyramids in exactly that angle, exactly that distance, or the proportionality of that distance. So again, of course, it's not exactly the distance, but it's the exact proportionality of the distance. It's mathematical connection. It's alignment through metaphysics. And then furthermore, you look at the magnitude of the stars, and then you build the size of the pyramid according to the magnitude of each of those stars. So there you've got resonance. Each pyramid is resonating with each star, but you've also got alignment. They're lining up with the pattern of the stars. So these three pyramids have got a direct connection through the star to the stars. But it's metaphysical. The connection is through mathematics, it's through alignment, and it's through resonance, geometric resonance, resonance through geometry, morphic resonance, if you like. The shape resonates. But that's all metaphysics. It's abstract, it's not physical. That happens in consciousness. And because that connection is metaphysical, it does not matter about the distance away. You see, we think, well, we've got to build a spaceship to travel to the stars. No, these guys have built a pyramid to connect to the stars. They'll go in. So whoever built that will know metaphysics. They will understand the soul spirit. They'll understand the energy. They go in there in their energy body to travel to the stars. Whoop, off they go. You see, you can do it. I can do it. We can do it here like myself. Here, I'd sit here, meditate. I can build an energy body, go travelling. But if I had that pyramid, sit in that pyramid, oh, that's easy. You've created a machine that focuses the energy, the life force energy, the metaphysical energy, the ether, that connects to your soul spirit, your energy body. So that will allow you to have an energy body and you can travel off to those stars quite easily. But it won't just be those stars, all of them. It's just connecting to that star to bring some of that energy here to power up the pyramids and the area for the people in that area. So of course there's a lot more to it than that, but what I wanted to explain is how metaphysics works. If you can understand that metaphysics works through geometry, it works through resonance, connecting geometries. So if I had a little miniature pyramid here, you can buy these. It's built in exactly the same geometric proportions of the Great Pyramid in Giza, little one, and it still has some energy because it's resonating with that Great Pyramid of Giza. And then that Great Pyramid of Giza is resonating with the stars. Plus, it's resonating with abstract mathematics, the golden ratio, plus all other things. It's resonating with a lot of stuff. So that little one will still work for me. Put it on your head. But of course, if you don't believe it, if you don't choose to resonate with it, it won't work. That's where you've got to understand. The most important thing is metaphysics is my own consciousness. Metaphysics is consciousness. So I am metaphysics. Metaphysics comes from consciousness. I create metaphysics. And metaphysics creates physics. So I'm behind it all anyway. If I choose to use it, it will work. If I choose not to use it, it won't work. So if someone's trying to do some metaphysics on me, no, it won't work on me. If a skeptic says, crystal ball, that's rubbish, that won't work. Yeah, it won't work on him. He's not tuning into it. But a psychic would tune into it, it might work for them. You see? It's up to you. Now here connects to astrology. Now we can start to see that the stars are doing something. Think of it like this. Here's the Earth. And around that, all these stars. But they're moving, planets. But they're moving in a pattern. There's a geometric pattern being created in space around in stars. It's geometry. And sometimes different shapes in the stars will appear. And that's going to create a different metaphysical effect. A different geometry is happening. So some energy is going to change. And sometimes you get an alignment. The planets align. So if all the planets line up with the Earth, well, that will have an effect. It will have a gravitational effect, a slight effect. It will also have a magnetic effect. There's magnetism. Magnetism is completely underestimated, but magnetism is a far more important force in the universe. I believe magnetism explains everything. And it's electricity. Electricity comes before magnetism. But anyway, the point being is there will be a real effect of an alignment of planets. Now, how that affects us, our soul spirit, is the question. But you can start to see now, all right, there's some geometry happening, and that will have a metaphysical effect. And how does it affect us here on Earth? But you see, we made our astrology about these local stars. You don't forget, you've got Sagittarius, you've got Pisces, you've got all this, that, the other. And they're just the ones local stars. But you go out further. The universe is massive. It's going off to infinity. All about all those other stars. Have they got no effect? Yeah, of course they have. But they're further away. We don't even see them. Well, they've got an effect. We can't see that one. So it's sort of okay. We see the local ones. They're just nearby. But all we can really do is look at them, observe them, and just notice what's happening. You see, the trouble we've got is when we try to assign meaning. That's where it gets interesting. It's about trying to predict the future. You want to predict the future, and you can't really do that. There's no way to predict the future. I talk about this on my channel. I'll leave the links below to a lecture I called Time, Destiny and Free Will. It's in my Magical Science lecture series where I explain metaphysics, the soul spirit, the ether force, how it works. So you can check that out. But essentially every moment is new, spontaneous moment. You cannot have destiny. Think about it. The force is creative. It is a creative force. Think about it. By definition, the creative force is always creating. Creation is always spontaneous, always new. So you cannot predict it. You can't predict it. There's no way. It's creative. You might. All you can do is look at the energy. You can see what has already been created. Then you can feel the energy and see which way the energy is moving. And then you can think, all right, maybe we're going that way. Maybe this might happen in the future. So you can only have a guess. And that's where we've got to be honest. Psychics and all, if you're doing this work, you've got to be honest. You only can say this is a guess. And in fact, I never, don't really talk about the future. It's a very low level consciousness. We're caught up in our personality. Oh, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to be rich? Am I going to find someone? Is something bad going to happen to me? Can I do this? Can I do that? It's like you're lost in your little ego, your little personality. You don't understand anything. It's a very low level consciousness. Really what you want to do is expand your consciousness. So these questions are irrelevant. We want to rise above our personal ego. Rise above our individual personality to understand a higher wisdom. How the universe works. See, what's going to happen to me next year or tomorrow, you think that's important, but it's not as important as if I could understand the nature of the universe. If I could understand how to control my energy, well, I can do what I like by next year. If I can harness the creative force, I will create my future. I don't need a psychic or an astrologer to tell me what's going to happen. No, I'm going to create it. So it's a different approach. Now look at another way. The stars. Everything in the universe comes from metaphysics. Metaphysics is soul spirit consciousness. So consciousness is metaphysics, creates the physics. So the stars are physics, but behind the stars is consciousness. So you can look at a star. It's a powerful consciousness bursting out physical energy. Electromagnetism is bursting out of this star. It's being created from the star. So consciousness is creating this star, bursting out energy. So it's a very powerful consciousness. But it won't be a consciousness like us. It won't be a personality. You see, we've got a personality because we've got a human body. This is highly complex. We must have 1 trillion layers of complexity. That's what gives us a personality. This body is highly complicated. Many different things going on. We can't even understand all the things going on. So life, self-awareness, the soul spirit comes from a high level of complexity. And if we are self-aware, I would argue a self-aware being is the highest level of complexity. So we, as living beings, self-aware, we are in a way the highest form of consciousness anyway. Self-aware consciousness. That star is consciousness, far more powerful than me. You go near a star, just burn you up. But it's still a simple consciousness. It's a primordial consciousness. Sheer power of consciousness. But there's no personality to it. But nevertheless, it's consciousness. It's metaphysics. So the stars are consciousness that will affect our consciousness. But it's not like the stars are doing that. Like they'll tell you, oh, today the stars are not in your favour. Next week the stars will be in your favour. Do it next week. Yeah. Yes and no. There's a particular energy going on right now. You're telling me that energy is not good for me, but it's a particular energy. You've made that judgment that the energy is not good. You're telling me, do it next week. No, I'll feel the energy. I can feel the energy, yeah, but it doesn't matter what the energy is. I use whatever energy is there and turn it into something good. So it doesn't matter what the stars are doing. I tune into the energy and I collect the energy. There's always good energy coming down from the stars. Always good energy. Always good energy coming down from the planets. It's us human beings telling us, oh, this day it's not good energy. Do it next week, it's better energy. And you see, and the other thing, look at it this way. They tell you from your date of birth. So you've got your date of birth, and you've got it in the Chinese astrology. There's so many astrologies. Tibetan, the Mayan calendar, Indian got a different one, the Gregorian calendar, Chinese, all of them different. And they all tell you something slightly different. And you've got psychics telling you. And even now we know the calendar is all wrong. It's supposed to be 13 months, not 12. It's got to be the lunar calendar. So the calendar's wrong anyway. The year might be wrong. We don't know what year it is. You know, even so, whatever year it is, that's arbitrary numbers. That doesn't mean anything. But let's just say you use your date of birth because astrology tells you where the stars were on the day that you were born. So you look at your date of birth, tells you, okay, the stars were like this, the planets were like this, therefore your personality is like this. And in the Chinese one, they'll tell you your energy. They look at energy. So 5 elements energy. So say you're born, you've got more wood energy, more metal energy, that sort of thing. And that's your life. So that governs your life. But of course it doesn't. All that is telling you is at that moment you were born, that is what the energy was. But the moment you were born, you yourself are alive now. I'm a living being. I grow. I change. So now, whatever it is, 30 years later, you're telling me astrology based on the day I was born. Yeah, but I'm not that person anymore. That moment has passed. The stars are not like that anymore. Who cares what that moment was? See, now you're telling me, yeah, you were born with this weakness, this energy in you. That's why you're like that. Yeah, but I'm not that person anymore. I've changed. I've worked on myself. The astrology of your date of birth does give you it does not count in your progress, your growth, where you've got to now. And if you progressed a lot, you've worked on yourself, that birthday astrology is irrelevant now. It's literally irrelevant. You see, imagine you're born, I don't know, with a disability, some problem, but you managed to fix it. You trained your body so hard, you fixed it. Now, 30 years later, that disability is gone. You've forgotten all about it. But now you go to an astrologer and they say, oh, you were born with this disability. Yeah, now you've got that. Oh, was I? And then you remember it. Now you're hung up. Now you've got that disability, that problem in your mind again. See, they not make any account for the fact that you've fixed it. Now it doesn't apply anymore. So why bother even going back to that date of birth? It doesn't matter. See, I used to do a lot of this astrology, look at it all, study it all, get people's opinions, study my date of birth. But I always listen to it like, yeah, okay, yeah, something may be there. No, that's not right. You see, you've got to look at it personally. Remember, if consciousness is behind metaphysics, metaphysics is behind the stars and behind the physics, then we are behind the stars anyway. You see, we're looking at the stars as if the stars are controlling us. No, we are controlling the stars. It's different. It's different. And in the great masters, the Taoist masters of the old, and other philosophies as well, they believe they'll train their soul and they'll go off into the universe, do some higher purpose. And there's a story about a great Tao master who was training, and he'd tell people, when I'm going to go, there'll be a new star in the cosmos. Look out here, there's going to be a star. So when he died, he went off, and then he looked, and there was a star popped up. So again, we don't know how true that was, but there's a legend or a story, apparently a historical story, it's recorded in the Taoist history, that happened. So they believed that his consciousness advanced so much that he went and became a star, became a powerful consciousness doing something else. But he wouldn't be a personality anymore, you know. He's just this powerful consciousness. He's sort of outside space and time. He's just creating energy. So that means, again, it's the same theory. We become the stars. We are stars ourselves. My soul spirit is like a little star bursting out energy. I'm creating electromagnetism in my body. And what I do is tune into the stars around me. You see, like, I'll just tune into the energy. I'll be doing my energy, but some days I look out, it's a full moon. Now, I don't bother checking for that. Oh, when's the full moon? When's the full moon? No, I just have, oh, today's some energy. I look out, oh, it's a full moon. Ah, makes sense. Feel the energy of the full moon. And in the Tao practice, a lot of them, they actually stare at the full moon, looking at the moon, collecting the energy. They're tuning into the energies of the cosmos and collecting it, building it up inside themselves. And they're using alignment, movement. See, they will also move in an alignment. They have exercises called 7 star. There'll be the 7 stars. In the Tao, the 7 stars are very important. It's the Big Dipper. You'd have the North Star as number 1. The North Star is most important because it's the pivot for the Earth. The Earth spins around the North Star. And then the Big Dipper turns around the North Star. It's always pointing at the North Star. So that's the second most important one. And they do exercises that step in the position of those stars. You'll be moving in those positions. So you actually move your body to align with that set of stars. So you're tuning into the energy of the stars to collect the energy. They do meditations to tune into the stars. So that's sort of astrology, but it's not astrology. It's more astronomy. It's actually energetic connecting to the stars. It's when we get into our little limited personality. This is Sagittarius, this is that. And then you're trying to ascribe little meanings to your little personality. And don't forget, you've got stars way out. Way beyond our local constellations. Way out. All of those stars we want as well. Massive amount of energy in the cosmos. We're trying to collect it. But it's understanding how metaphysics works. The alignment. The key is in alignment. I align my body structure. See, I align these crystals. These crystals are in a little alignment in my table. I move them about. It's a little alignment. I just feel it. That alignment creates a flow of energy. This flow of energy, when you've got an alignment, a correct alignment, what you get is something called coherence. Coherence. Everything comes together and it all becomes one thing. See this desk? I've got all these different crystals. They're all separate. When I get the alignment right, I feel it. It all coheres. Now I've got the good energy on this desk. One energy. It comes to me, I'm at the other side. Crystals are here, I'm here. Together, I've got coherence. But I'm playing with metaphysics. The alignment of it. That's like, what's the point of the alignment? That's abstract. That's metaphysics. But I'm using alignment on physics. These are real physical crystals. I am a real physical body. But I align my body with these crystals in their alignment. That's metaphysics. Metaphysics in physics creates energy. That's how it works. When you tune into the stars, you're looking at the alignment. See, maybe there is a great alignment of the planets. And I know that. I'll tune in, do some meditation. I try and feel the alignment of those planets. I've got to feel it. Tune into the energy and get that energy to come to me. So that's where astrology will be useful. Watching the stars, they'd watch them, but they watch them not so much to tell you about your personality, what's going to happen next week. Am I going to become rich in life? Nothing about that. It's about growth, wisdom, learning, expanding your soul spirit, increasing your energy. It's about ultimate wisdom. And that's what I'm trying to share on this channel. So to sum it up, metaphysics is under your control. That's the most important thing to get. So you don't need to take any of these things too seriously. The psychic or the astrologer tells you, oh, you're going to have a bad week next week. Oh, I'm going to have a bad week next week. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, that's nonsense. Not interested. You see, why are they telling you you're going to have a bad week? That's a personal opinion. You can't say that. You can't say energy is good or bad. It's up to you how to use it. It's up to you how to use it. There might be a particular energy in one of the planets. And well, that's not good for you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It might be the opposite planet to me, but that's good for me still. Yeah, I've got a chance to balance. So don't tell me it's not going to be a good week. Every week is a good week. Every day is a good day. Because I'm in control. I control the stars. They don't control me. I tune into them. Plus, I'm not limited to these few little stars around the Earth. What, just a few of them? That's not enough for me. North Star is the most important one, but the North Star leads you off into the rest of the cosmos, because once you've got the balance of the North Star, the Earth, you've got our solar system. Now I can reach out to the rest of the universe. Black holes, galaxies, energy and all of that. And all that is different geometries, different metaphysics, but I get it all. Because I am consciousness, soul, spirit, pure metaphysics. And that comes before physics. But I control it. I control my aura. If I want to use it, I can use it. And if I don't want to use it, I can choose not to use it. Very important. So I hope this little talk made sense. Please do check out my channel. Look through my videos. I talk about this in so many different ways. You've got to go and search through my playlists. Don't have to watch the whole playlist, but click on them and look through the videos to choose one, because every video is different. I talk about this in so many different ways. I talk about metaphysics. I've done a couple of videos on words and numbers, numerology and magic words. So I'll leave the links to those as well below. But thank you so much for listening. I hope this made sense. Please leave any comments or questions. And I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.